Okay, today's real estate conversation, we are going to be answering a question slash recently commonly asked video suggestion on this channel, which is, can you share some of the ways that you have gotten business for your real estate business, or just like ways that have successfully generated leads for you? Hold on, let me turn my car back on. Ways that you have successfully been able to generate leads for your real estate business. Okay, so if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah. I'm a real estate agent in the beautiful state of Oregon. I've been a real estate agent since 2015, got my real estate license right out of high school. A couple years later, my husband Spencer quit his job and joined me, and we have been a real estate team ever since. By the way, on this channel, we make videos consistently sharing about our business and sharing what's working for us, all of that. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. But a little background before we get into these ways. And I'm going to be sharing with you like a pretty good list of solid ways that if you do these things, like, you will get business, you will get leads, you will get clients. Before we get into this list, let me just share a little bit of background about where I'm coming from in my business, because on this channel I've really always been very like honest and transparent about my real estate business, and I've always just kind of like kept you guys updated as to how it's going from the start. So let me just share where I'm coming from, and then we'll get into these tips. Like I said, I got my real estate license at 18. Couple years after getting licensed, I started out really heavy, like prospecting, cold calling, door knocking. That was where pretty much all my business came from the first few years. Zero referrals, zero sphere of influence, like completely from cold leads. A couple years after that, my husband got licensed and joined me, and we were able to, using these very things I'm going to share with you guys today, we were able to begin making a couple $100,000 a year selling real estate by the time we were in our early 20s. Now, I know there's plenty of people making like $1 million a year selling real estate. To me, that was a really big goal of mine. Okay, so fast forward, that was in our early 20s. Now we're 27, and let me just share with you where our business has been over the last few years. So to be completely honest, we're still producing agents, okay, but we have been focusing on other streams of income and just other things, I guess you could say, going on in our life, which has really caused us to pull back on production. And quite honestly, I've completely stopped doing, over the last couple years, completely stopped doing most of the things on this list that I'm going to share with you. And our business did take a really extremely large hit. We were not generating nearly as many leads, not closing nearly as many houses as we were before when we were doing these things consistently. And we didn't care that much, to be honest, because like I said, we had other things we were focusing on. But we've taken the last few months away from our real estate business really entirely, besides passing on some like referrals, getting referral fees, working with agents with our brokerage. That's a whole other story. I won't talk about that. But like, besides doing those little things, we've really taken completely off of our business, and we've been out of the country doing missions work, which has been, it was very random, not something we ever had planned or like saw ourselves doing, but it was like such an amazing, life-changing, very, very, very sweet time for our family. However, during that time, we got a lot of clarity, especially towards the end. We started to get, because going into that, like, we were feeling very like, you know, real estate was our passion, but like, you know, it's kind of, we do it now here and there, we'll sell a house, but like, we were not like feeling the juice, okay? But towards the end of our time there, we started to get like really clear, fresh vision for our real estate business going forward, fresh excitement and passion, and just like ideas and motivation to just go sell a bunch of houses, okay? Which we have not felt in a long time. Because like I said, we were still selling real estate. It was still a huge part of our life. We're still like full-time realtors, whatever, but we just have not had that like drive, you know what I mean, to like go sell a ton of houses and whatever like we had previously. If you can relate to that as a realtor, let me know in the comments below. I personally have felt such a permission to be successful in real estate and not have to limit myself to like, oh, I can only work with like this many clients at a time because I'm a mom. I can't work with two. Like, I have felt such a like freedom and permission around like going out there and running my business as a mom that I have not felt really in the last 5 years, 4.5 years. So I'm very excited about that. But to just sum all of this up, what I'm trying to say is while we were out of the country completely, really not doing any real estate at all, towards the end of our time there, we started to get some like great ideas and motivation and vision downloaded to us for our business moving forward. With all of that being said, I have been in the real estate business now for, is it my 9th year? Am I going on 9 years? Somewhere around 9 years, maybe 8, maybe I'm 8 years in, I don't know. I started when I was 18, I'm 27 now, so you can do the math. But I've been in the business for that long, and for the first time ever, I really feel like I'm starting over, okay? I talk to new agents all the time because that's one of the other like streams of income we have is at our real estate brokerage. We have the opportunity to sponsor real estate agents all over the US and Canada who are joining Real Broker. If you have questions about that, if you have questions about joining Real Broker, you want to see if it's a good fit for you, you want to join, you want me to be your sponsor, hit me up. I'd love to set up a Zoom call with you and talk about that. But because of that, I have Zoom calls often and just phone calls, voice message, text, back and forth, all of the things. I'm in communication often with brand new agents. And I feel like in a way, I'm in the same boat as you guys right now, honestly, for the first time in a very long time. Now, it's a little different because yes, we have past clients, but have we kept in touch with them recently at all? No. Have we, which we have a new plan in place for that, have we do we have new leads coming in from our video marketing? Yes. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube marketing is that while you're away on vacation, videos you put out there on YouTube years ago will still be bringing you clients, if that makes sense. So not that we were really on vacation, but you know what I'm saying. But I guess the point I'm trying to say is we do have that it's a little different than being a brand new agent. So we do have some leads coming in from video marketing, like our YouTube channels and whatever. So we do have some leads coming in from that are really great, solid leads. But we were okay with that the last few years, like just kind of passively selling real estate, whatever. For the first time in a very long time, we're excited to get a really full pipeline again. I'm a very firm believer that life happens in seasons, and that was the season we were in before. Extremely slow paced, not selling many houses, still selling consistently. Like, it's not like we were not selling for 2 years. Like we always had clients, but we were not like having all these goals about our real estate, tracking our numbers, like we were extremely passive about it. But that was the season we were in, and we feel like a very large season shift to this is the season we're in now. And we really feel that that like green light of like go, go, go. We don't really why, but anyway, so that's just a little background of where I'm at. I'm kind of in a way starting over with you guys. And yes, I do still feel very, I've talked about this on my channel before, especially in like my day in the life of a realtor vlogs. I do feel very passionate and strongly that it's very important to live a slow life. And I want to live a slow life. I do believe I was created to like do busy well, and I have capacity for that. But as long as I'm disciplined in all areas of my life, then I do. Gosh, I feel like I'm like talking in circles and all over the place because I literally didn't think about what I was going to say. So I apologize if you're not even following me. But what I'm trying to say is I still feel very strongly about living a slow lifestyle, but I do believe that we'll be able to sell a lot of houses and do really well in real estate while still maintaining that slow pace, if that makes sense. That's something that's like really important to me. Okay, guys, finally what you've been waiting for. Thanks for listening to my very long ramble. Let's get into these ways of getting business, okay? These are things that if you are a brand new agent, like many of the agents I get to talk to and be in relationship are, which I love so much. And you're like, I need business now, or I'm going to have to go back to my old job. Like, I can't keep doing this. These are the things I would tell you to do. And like I said earlier, I know that they will work for you because they worked for me. I was a young gal when they worked for me, and there were so many agents out there who were way more qualified than me to be getting the business that I was getting. Meaning, like, so many agents out there that I saw at my office I was at the time, they were sitting in their little cubicles, not doing any business. They were like really awesome, thoughtful, thorough, caring people. They would have taken way better care of these clients than me at 20 years old, whatever. But I was getting the business instead of them, even though I was doing probably a lot worse job than them because I was doing these things consistently, okay? We're going to get into some ways of getting business that you're going to want to hear about, but I'm going to start out with one that you might not want to hear about, okay? Let's talk about expired listings and for sale by owners. I feel like nowadays in 2024, it's almost 2025, I feel like nowadays nobody wants to do these. When I have conversations with agents about joining our network at our brokerage, about joining the brokerage that we are with us, Real Broker, when I talk to agents about that, none of them want to have this on their business plan. Hardly, maybe like 1% of them do. But I think the cold, hard truth is that there are a million ways to get business in real estate. They all work. Like, they literally, whatever you want to do, it's probably going to work if you're consistent with it and stick with it long enough. The problem is we don't stick with it long enough. However, if you want business right now, if you want a paycheck like ASAP, a commission check ASAP, Instagram is not going to be it, okay? I know agents make a ton of money from Instagram. Many agents I know make a ton of money from Instagram. However, it's not the kind of thing where you start being super consistent, you're consistent for 2 whole months, and then boom, you're rolling. Like, no, it's going to take so much longer than that. If you want business like right now, like if you cannot live without getting some commissions, the easiest, quickest, and best way to do it is by contacting the folks who are raising their hand saying, I'm selling my house. And I know that statistically, although when you call a for sale by owner or even an expired listing, most of them are going to say like, no, I'm never listing with a realtor, or I'm not going to relist it. But we know by statistics that 90-something% of them will end up selling with a realtor again. They will, like for sale by owner wise, 90-something% of them are going to list with a realtor, even though they promise you they never will. So why can't it be you? That's always my mindset with for sale by owners. It is literally free business sticking up their hand saying, I'm selling my house. Okay? So here's what I'm doing right now. And this is crazy because I have taken 4.5, 5 years off of for sale by owners. Like I said, that's how I started my business. I got a ton of business from for sale by owners in the beginning, and I have been not doing for sale by owners for a very long time. I'll keep it short and sweet. Here's what I'm doing about for sale by owners. I'm setting up as many preview appointments to just get in the door and get face to face. I'm not lying and saying that I have a buyer. I'm just saying I need to know what's out there. I want to see all the inventory on the market, and that includes your for sale by owner house. I am getting face to face with as many for sale by owners as I can. I don't care if it sounds like on the phone there's no shot they'll ever list with me, or they say they have a best friend who's a realtor. I don't care what their excuses are. I don't care if it seems like it's going to be a waste of time. I am getting face to face with as many for sale by owners as I can. And because I know at the end of the day, getting face to face with them is the most important. They're gonna list with someone, like most likely they will. So why not me? So I'm going to get face to face with them. And then generally, most realtors give up too soon when it comes to follow-up. So I'm going to immediately send them a handwritten thank you note. I'm going to send them home buying tips, or not home buying, home selling tips, that type of thing in the mail every week for a handful of weeks. I'm going to call them and check in, and I'm just going to continue to be in their ear until they're ready to list. Okay, so for sale by owners, or I'm just gonna door knock if I don't have their phone number. Sometimes they don't put their phone number out there. I will just get their address and drive directly to their home and door knock it. I am just putting my face in front of as many faces of for sale by owners as possible, because I know if you want to sell houses ASAP, you need to get your face in front of someone else's face. And being in person is a really great way to build trust with the for sale by owner. Okay. I'm handling those. My husband is handling the expired listings. Okay. We did just buy a dialer. We'll talk about that in a future video. I'm going to have him come on and we'll talk about it together, like what we're doing and our results. It's day 2 of doing this. We've literally been back in the United States for 2 days. Yeah, we got back 2 days ago. So yesterday was our first day of doing this. We really were excited and wanted to hit the ground running. So yesterday was our first day of doing this, and we will update you once we get results. But I know that we will, because like I said, I've done this before and I know that it works. These are proven tactics, okay? So that's one way. Get face-to-face with people who want to sell. You could also do that through open houses if you want to get face-to-face with people who want to buy. It's just getting face-to-face is really important. For me, I hate open houses. I don't have the patience for them. It's not it for me, but maybe it's it for you. And if it is, then do open houses instead of cold calling, or do both. Number 2 thing I'm doing is something I won't touch too much on because I have talked about this a lot over the last few years on my channel, is YouTube marketing. Honestly, where my only business has come from over the last couple years. I haven't been doing anything else. I have really only been doing virtual tours, and other clients come in, I'll like refer them out or whatever, but which I feel a shift, and I'm missing seeing clients in person. And I don't know, like I said, seasons change, and this is changing, I really feel. But as I was saying, the last couple years I've really only worked with YouTube clients, and only like the good ones I wanted to work with. Okay. And so this is something I'm going to continue to do, because while we were away, even though we weren't selling, we weren't actively like trying to get clients to our business, we weren't even here in our market, we were still getting consistent reach outs from YouTube clients. So I know YouTube is tried and true, and it will work to get you business. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Okay. So if you have the time, if you're like, I got money to pay my bills for, the next 6 months, then yes, do YouTube. Then maybe don't cold call and do open houses too, just do YouTube. But if you're like, I want to start getting commissions ASAP, you're going to need to do the other things on top of YouTube, at least at first. But YouTube does still bring us consistent clients, even though we honestly have not been focusing on it. We've taken a break from it. We've been doing a really shoddy job at it. But even with all of those factors, it still brought us clients. So this is something as we move forward with our business plan, we are going to be like doubling down on, focusing on doing it better and more consistently again, because it definitely used to bring us a lot more leads. Even though we are still getting leads from it consistently, it used to bring us like a ton more leads because we put more time and focus into it than we are now. So YouTube. And as far as that goes, I won't, like I said, I don't want to talk about this for too long, but as far as YouTube for business goes, anything about like buying or selling in your town specifically, moving to, living in, relocating to your town specifically, you should start getting clients from that. My next thing that I have not started doing yet, that I will start doing, that I used to do, that used to bring me a lot of business, is Facebook. I used to get a ton of business from Facebook. Referrals, people I knew, from people I knew to people I really didn't know, just a Facebook personal page. Okay. So basically how did this look for me? When I would do this, and it produced really great results, and consistent business, which again, this is something I've completely stopped doing, that I will start again, part of our new business plan going forward. I would basically just share like the behind the scenes on the day as a real estate agent. For example, if I'm going to go show a house, or you don't have a showing yet, preview a property, okay? I'm gonna just like take a quick selfie in the car and be like, about to go show a house, or even just take a picture of like your coffee, your Starbucks cup in front of the front door, the front doormat, and say like showing a house or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's super easy. It doesn't have to be professional. Actually, probably the least professional, the better for this, because people connect with you more when it's not like super perfect and put together, if you know what I mean, and they feel more comfortable reaching out to you. Anytime I would be sitting in a real estate training, and something like really caught my attention or just like excited me, I would write it down in the notes in my phone. Say it was about the housing market, I would write down like, this is what we're seeing in the housing market. Anytime someone would ask me a question about real estate, like what is like, how long's the inspection period, or like whatever, how much do I need down on a house, like anytime a buyer or seller would ask me a question, I would write it down in the notes in my phone, the question and then the answer to it. And that was all content. So I had content already made. And then when I was ready to post, I would just copy and paste what I had written down in the notes in my phone as my caption. So I like always had content to post. And then of course, sharing personal things here and there too, which is something I feel like when you stop posting personal things, it's really hard to start, but then once you're used to it, you're in the rhythm and routine of it, it's easy. But for me, it wasn't like I was sharing anything that serious, but like my matcha, my going to like a coffee shop with a friend, or my cat at the time, my daughter, or like going to the library with my daughter, or like going to pick apples, like whatever random little things you're doing. You can just share like photos here and there about your life. So sprinkle in real estate, but also what you're doing, you know, day to day like life things as well. This is something that it did bring me a ton of business consistently. However, it took time. I really started doing this when I was a brand new agent, and it took me a couple years of doing this consistently to really start seeing like a lot of business actually coming from it. So again, these are all things that will work. It's just a matter of time. If you need business ASAP, I would rely on cold calling, door knocking, open houses, but sprinkle in these things too, because in 2 years from now, you'll thank yourself. The next big source of leads is agent to agent referrals, showing up consistently on social media. It can be either like adding value to real estate agents for free, like I do on this channel. I know this channel has brought us a lot of real estate clients, like agent to agent referral type clients, or honestly, you don't have to be making agent-facing content to get a lot of agent-to-agent referrals. At my brokerage that I'm with, Real Broker, some of the top agents that get the most amount of agent-to-agent referrals are just agents who post a lot of consistent, really great content for consumers. And of course, like I know I take note if an agent in another market is doing like really great, like buyer videos, like for first-time home buyers or whatever. Like if they're doing that in their market, I definitely take note, because it's like, it's something that as an agent, I want to get ideas from. As I'm consuming their content to get ideas, I know if I have a client relocating to their town, I'm going to think of them first, because I'm constantly seeing them pop up online. There are a few more things that we plan on doing and adding to our business plan, but honestly, this is enough to get started with. If you're doing all of these things consistently, you will get business. I just know it. The last thing that I will touch on is drip campaign newsletters to stay in front of buyers and sellers. And I do this through my CRM system, Lofty. It used to be called Chime. If you're not familiar with the CRM system, I have a couple videos on my channel about Lofty, the CRM system. Go watch them when you can, because it is amazing and literally business and life-changing. Like, I cannot say enough good things about this CRM system. It is usually $500 a month. At the brokerage I'm with, Real Broker, we get it for, I want to say it's like $30 a month, but don't quote me on that. Somewhere around there. But we get an insane discount. You can buy it though if you're not with Real Broker. You just need to pay a lot more. However, if I wasn't with Real, it is worth the $500 a month. I would still want to buy the CRM system because it is amazing. But one of the things I do with the CRM system, and honestly, this feature most CRM systems are going to have, or probably all, but this feature is not that special, but I do it through my CRM system, Lofty. That is a drip campaign newsletter. What I mean by a drip campaign newsletter is you are able to create different mail campaigns. That means that, like, for example, I have an email campaign for relocation buyers. I have an email campaign for long-term buyer leads, long-term seller leads, hot seller leads for past clients. What gets emailed out in these drip campaigns is going to be a little bit different from each of them, if that makes sense. Basically, you can do it to where you're physically writing and coming up with the content in these. I don't do that. I just use my CRM systems, like already made email sheets. So for buyers, that's going to be home buying tips, things like that. So when I put a buyer lead on a drip campaign, they are going to consistently get emails about the buying process, like every however so often I set it up to be. You know what I mean? That makes sense. And I set it up so that every single person in my CRM system, unless they opt out, is going to get my email newsletter. Again, I don't write this newsletter. I do write my agent newsletter. So if you're a real estate agent and you haven't already, and you want to be part of my real estate agent newsletter and hear from me once a month, chatting more about real estate and what's working in the business, shoot me an email with the words email list. My email address is in the description below and you'll be added ASAP. But for these like past client, sphere of influence, and lead newsletters, I don't write them, okay? I just like use the automated pre-made ones. They're pretty good, okay? And people actually think that you write them. But I have them scheduled to go out once a month to every single lead in my system. Now, this is not something that's going to get you business right away, but it is, and I certainly don't think that if this is all you're doing to stay in touch with your past clients, you're going to be getting a lot of business from your past clients. It's definitely very passive and you need to be doing more than just this, but this can really help. I had an investor that I worked with 7 years ago maybe, and as soon as we were done with our transaction, I added her to my email drip campaign. She's been receiving my newsletters every month since then. She told me recently, "Wow, I'm so impressed with your follow-up. I've never had an agent follow up with me for so long talking about my newsletters." So it's a very easy thing that can keep you in front of your past clients, sphere of influence, and hot leads or long-term leads. One thing that used to bring me business, again, it's going to take a while before you see business from this, but it's worth it and it will all snowball. But one thing that used to bring me a lot of business is the first few years that I was in the real estate business. Anytime I got a lead from absolutely any source, whether it was a paid lead, a Zillow lead, a Facebook lead, someone emailing me, open house, like you name it, anytime anyone ever gave me their email address, I would immediately add them to my CRM system and put them on a drip campaign and or set them up with my monthly newsletter. So email marketing, it's very passive, but it's so worth it, and it's definitely something that it's a long-term thing, but you will see results from it over time. I know this is an area that we've had a lot of clients from over the years. I have to go now, so thank you guys for hanging out with me in my car and having a little conversation. If you liked this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button. Also, don't forget to head over to my channel. I have a handful of playlists you might grab value from, and I'll see you guys next time.